once again, everybody, from Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. I'm Jim Noble, along with Wofford head women's basketball coach Jimmy Garrity. It is the Jimmy Garrity Show, sponsored by RJ Rockers. How you doing today?
Hey, doing really good. Doing, coming off a big road win against a really good App State team, and had our Christmas party here last night with the department, so all's good.
You know, when last we spoke, Jimmy, last we did a video, I should say, a couple of months ago, we were looking at the season beginning. We were looking at the rather daunting schedule you put together in your infinite wisdom, and some of the early season tests that you would have against some Power Fives, and we've gone through that. We've kind of gotten back on track. The Terriers at the time of this taping, 4-6, coming off the win against App State. But as you look at the whole ball of wax right now over the last month or two, how do you feel about the direction of the team?
I feel really good. You know, we played those tough games early on for a reason, to get us better, to prepare us for the conference season. We went up to NC State to play in the WNIT preseason tournament. We were one of 8 teams selected in that, and our players, knew that that's a big deal for our program. We've never been asked to play in it. So, we were playing for our school there and all the people who came before us. But we played fairly well, just really good teams up there, and I feel like we're in a good spot right now. We're feeling good about ourselves, and we've had some difficult road games, but all those are to prepare us for conference play.
Well, we'll get into all that when we come back. We'll talk about what's going on right now here at Wofford, and that means exams and a lot of things on and off the court. In terms of on and off the court, some of the triumphs of the Terriers, both on and off the court. We'll get into that and talk about the big win at App and looking ahead to what's ahead on the schedule. It's coming up next here on the Jimmy Garrity Show.
It doesn't matter if you're active on the road or in the gym. Your body is your strongest tool. Spartanburg Regional Sports Medicine Institute is here to push you to the next level. With partnerships across Spartanburg County schools, we're here when it happens. We diagnose, treat, and heal at the Sports Medicine Institute to get you back and active, in the gym, in the game, and to the next level. We never quit because you never quit.
And welcome back to the Jimmy Garrity Show. So, exam week, just a shudder goes down my spine, even though I haven't been in college for many, many years. I mean, at Wofford, we know the deal, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's a rigorous academic program. You want to finish up a semester strong academically. How do you balance what these kids are going through in the classroom with trying to keep some level of conditioning, basketball knowledge, because you do have a game at the end of the exam week?
Well, it's a stressful time, right? And the academic rigor at Wofford is tough. But that's why they're here, because of that rigor, and they know the dividends it's going to pay for them after college. And it's a stressful time for us. For our players, they care just as much about their academics as they do their basketball. So we're about 3 days into it. I just got a phone call. She found out her grade in one of her classes and was on cloud 9 because she just did an excellent job and came through with a really good grade. But we gave them a couple of days off to study. We did individuals yesterday, and today, the third day of exams, we'll have a full practice to prepare for Clemson in a couple of days.
You guys have had some off-the-court triumphs, I like to call it. Alexis Tomlin, she was accepted to med school, her #1 med school. Aaliyah Harris accepted to law school. That's got to make you feel fantastic.
It is. When you get the call, it was after our game. We all, I thank Lex for letting us, allowing the team to get to experience that with her. That was really cool. That doesn't happen every day. And so the dean of the school, of med school, called her while we were all on the phone to speak her. So that was really cool. And then this past week, Friday, got a call from Aaliyah Harris to say, hey, the dean of the law school offered her a full scholarship, no expenses. So just to hear the excitement in her voice and to know the work that she put in, and to know that Wofford, she's grateful and appreciative of all that Wofford's done for her, and she's in a great spot, and so is Lex.
The great thing, A, is if you need a doctor or a lawyer down
we
the
got
road,
them covered.
You're all set, man.
That's check.
You're good to go. B, when you're out on the recruiting trail, I know everybody wants to know about basketball when
Yeah.
you're recruiting, but parents want to know about academics and life after college.
Yeah.
You can basically showcase these success stories to the parents and the student athlete and say, hey, this is part of the Wofford experience.
Yeah, and that's just two of many, right? There are many that have come before them. There are many that are going to come after them. There are many that are right there in that locker room today that have a tremendous story lying ahead of them. And we sell that part of it, and that's the Wofford way. You know, when they come here, I want them to be more than a basketball player. Participate in the college, be involved in the community. They've taken advantage of all that Wofford can do for them, and credit goes to them for putting in the work.
Well, this is a basketball show, so we are going to talk a little round ball at some point. In fact, when we come back, we're going to take you back to a very special moment in Boone, North Carolina. That's coming up next here on the Jimmy Garrity Show.
They're up to something, but it's gonna be snack time coming home.
Hey! 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 Let's go! Snack time! Snack time! Snack time! Snack time! Snack time!
Oh, what a great scene up in Boone, North Carolina after the Terriers post a 78-65 road win against a very, very good Appalachian State team that might make some noise in the Sun Belt this season. Welcome back to the Coach Jimmy Garrity Show, brought to you by RJ Rockers. And man, that was sort of the culmination of all the effort about all the tough games against tough teams.
Yeah.
It seemed like it all came together up there in Boone.
It did, and our players, I'll give them all the credit to following the game plan, and defensively, I thought we were fantastic. We made just a few mistakes, and over a course of 40 minutes, that's really impressive to only make a couple mistakes. But they bought into it, and on the offensive end, they made some shots against an App State team that is going to contend for the Sun Belt Championship. They're good, they're well coached, they're athletic, they got really good players. So just really happy for our players because they've put in the work from day one. The results maybe not have shown on the one-loss column, but it all came together up in Boone, and it's been a long time since we won up there.
Jackie Carmen, the reigning SoCon Player of the Week, career high 26 up in Boone. Reagan Raper kind of doing what she's done so far her freshman year, and just a great secondary scorer in that game. I want to talk about defense, though.
Yeah.
It seemed like you guys had a plan, and the players really stuck to it. Very often coaches have a plan, and then sometimes you get hit in the mouth and the plan goes out the window.
Yep.
Didn't happen in Boone. I thought the execution on the defensive side was fantastic.
It really was. On the second play of the game, we made a mistake, but then they realized it, owned up to it, and then from then on out, it was very few mistakes made. But we were in gap. We knew their drivers versus the shooters. We knew who we wanted to shoot the ball versus who we wanted to drive the ball. And they were just, talking on defense was a big, big part of it, and just pure effort. And I thought we did a great job rebounding the ball.
we talk about this maybe to date being the culmination of a rise that started when you played teams like Florida and NC State. And then you go to Boone and you play probably your most complete game of the year. Is it that progression? Is it that upward trend that you're looking for at this point of the year?
Yeah, well, that's what you want. And during exam time, too, it's difficult because they got other things on their mind, too. But to separate, when we were on the road, we didn't do a shoot-around because they needed to study. And so, that it just all worked, and you're right. I know you mentioned earlier about Reagan and Jackie. Reagan's been playing really well to have 3 assists, no turnovers up there, and went 8 for 8 from the line. And, Jackie has put in the work. I mean, she's in here constantly working on her craft. And she just playing with a lot of confidence right now.
And it's also nice to know on a night where your bigs have some foul trouble.
Right away.
Yeah, right away. It doesn't all come crumbling down. You can figure out different ways, and that's what having 8, 9, 10 players to choose from. Everybody can kind of support a situation that happens like that.
And they forced us into playing lineups that we don't normally play.
4 guards?
But 4 guards, and it they made the most of it. And at the end of the day, they just played basketball.
Yeah.
And we talk about just play basketball, y'all. Do what you think you should do, and typically that's the right thing, and that's what they did.
Well, you mentioned the road. That's exactly where the Terriers are going next. When we come back, a couple of high-profile road games coming up for Wofford's women basketball. That's next here on the Jimmy Garrity Show.
Dad, are you ready for the football? Why is that man wearing face paint? What's the e-ticket? Can we get popcorn? Can we get funnel cake? Can we get ice cream? How many steps are there? What's offside? Why is that car a trough? How tall is that light? How cool is it? Can we come again?
We sure can.
Football season, the best time of year, no question.
There's only one you. For over a century, Park National Bank has served customers and communities with a hands-on approach that sees you as the unique person you are, delivering more than you expect from a bank. More reliability, more attention, more flexibility, more sophisticated financial services, more going the extra mile. Because at Park, you mean more.
Welcome back to the Coach Jimmy Garrity Show, brought to you by RJ Rockers. I'm Jim Noble. All right, hitting the road. One trip coming up Friday this week at Clemson, another great ACC test at Little John Coliseum. Then you get on the plane and go to New Orleans. You're going to be in New Orleans for New Year's Eve. So no partying. It's a business trip for Wofford. But first, let's talk about the challenge at Clemson. You're going to have a big, tough ACC team, and it's going to be quite a test.
Well, another Power 5 opponent that we're playing on the road, and Clemson, they just play really hard. They're athletic. They're long. That could potentially give us some issues. So, today we'll start preparing for them, and at the end of the day, I think we're going to have to make some shots. We'll have to play really well on the defensive end, and we're going to have to rebound and take care of the ball. If we can do those things, we'll have a chance to be successful.
And when you go to Tulane, the game day is December 30th. Are you able to get out and see, especially for girls who haven't been to New Orleans, and can you at least drive the bus around and see landmarks? Is there any, or is it, do you just go airport, gym, hotel, and home?
No, that's part of the experience too. I want these players to experience different things, and no one's been to New Orleans on our team. So it's going to be a great trip. We're going to get down there as early as we possibly can. Do a little bit of sightseeing, might do a haunted tour down there, but there's a lot of history in that city. So we're really looking forward to it. I know our players are really excited. So when we get back from Christmas, we'll practice a couple of days hard here to prepare for them and get down there as early as we can and hopefully have a really good experience down there off the court, but also on the court as well.
These are great games too for Wofford alumni that might be in some of these
Yeah.
far-flung areas. Do you ever get calls or little visits?
We
of
do.
People coming up to the bench saying, "Hey, I'm so happy you guys scheduled this game. I finally get to see the Terriers play in person."
We do. We actually had somebody from Boone that I didn't realize was going to be there, and we're looking up and we're like, well, I know all them people are on the list, but this one's not. And so it was great to see them, and they had a fun time there too. In New Orleans, we have a couple of alumni that are in that area that say they're going to come support us at the game. So it'd be really cool for our players and just to reach out to a Wofford alum too.
That's fantastic. All right, in closing, when next we reconvene, it'll be right before conference play begins in January. You're so tied up with what's going on at the moment. Do you get a chance to sit at home or put on ESPN Plus and look at any of the SoCon action? If so, do you have any early impressions on who's good and who's not so far yet?
A little bit of that. I don't get caught up in it too much because a lot of our schools in the league are playing that same tough schedule that we're playing. But yeah, every once in a while, you look, oh, how'd they do? Oh, what do the standings look like right now? But it's going to shape up to be a really good competitive conference season, and like us, they're playing a non-conference schedule to prepare them for Southern Conference play too.
Yeah, you don't peak in December.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
to be around in late February and
Yeah.
early March, and I think you guys are doing a nice progression towards
Absolutely.
that. As always, thank you for your time. If we don't see you before the holidays, happy New Year. Can't wait to do this again in a couple of weeks.
That sounds really good, and thanks for RJ Rockers for their sponsorship.
Absolutely.
Yep.
For head coach Jimmy Garrity, I'm Jim Noble. We'll see you next time on the Coach Jimmy Garrity Show.